This is Mike from Gold Rush Season 5 and 6. Thanks for watching Legends of the Superstition Mountains.
Boom!
That.
Yeah, stop. Your keyhole is right there. Your spring is right here. Your boots are right there. And no matter how you turn them, and this is on the other side, like you said, this is right here, and we're right here. We're right there. Across from the spring. This is that area. Quit turning the boots!
I'm looking at the way this was drawn out.
Well, we don't know which way we are really. We'll get down to the keyhole and look at things again, but that isn't right. Because that would make the boots point. Sorry, Trevor. Make the boots point that way.
Yeah, the boots would have to be up like this.
That's what I said, and you wouldn't do that. Why did you quit turning it? Oh, yeah,
why? What's this?
That's a flag, not a musical note.
Okay.
I don't know why.
What does that signify?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't see anything there that signifies a flag.
Now, the road would be here.
See, for the Ted DeGrazia painting site that Bob Ward was supposedly involved in, he left a number of maps and different clues on where these paintings were buried. And one of them was a puzzle map. It's a map that it's about this big, and you have to cut it apart and figure out how to put it together. And a couple of the pieces are interchangeable. They'll fit in different sections. So you have to figure out what's the proper alignment, and then you have to go out and look for various clues, natural clues, that are on this map. It's very interesting.
That's a flag, that's a flag, that's a flag, that's a flag. That's a musical note. See the difference?
Right.
Yes. So I don't know.
So what is that? Is it that cactus sticking up? Would that be here then? 30 years
Yeah,
ago?
that would have been here.
I mean, it's right in front at the bottom of the boot.
Yep. Okay. So then.
So is these flags cactuses?
I don't know.
Saguaros.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, think about it. There's
Give
one
me-
directly underneath the boot.
Give me a quart of whiskey and then I'll tell you. No, it falls completely in line. Spring, keyhole, spring, boots, perfectly lines up. And then you take this. Now, the only difference you could make with this, if you wanted, is you could take these two and swap them around.
Okay, but notice here. You have one here at the boot.
Yeah.
One here at the spring. One here at the X.
X.
No, is he signifying with these that these are important landmarks?
Yes, that's what that has to
So
be.
1, 2, 3.
Now, what
The
is...
keyhole? Yeah, the keyhole doesn't have one.
No.
But there's one up behind.
There's the musical notes each have one.
There's also one up above. Well, look.
So the thing is whether this belongs here or here. Either way, this here actually fits, but this is where we're at. The right spot where we're at.
Yeah, but here, look. The boots are, they're like over here, not over there.
If you sit there, if we set this just like this, it fits the area right now. And that means this is, because this isn't a straight line off the road, you would do this, is this 127 feet to here? Going down this way.
Yeah, I just noticed something here too.
Either 127 feet up the hill or 127 feet this way going.
I just noticed something. This is, we know where these landmarks are,
Yeah.
so we know the road goes this way. So this is not going uphill.
Unless-
This is going sideways along
Unless
the
you
road.
put this here and put this here.
So where this is going back to where that hole is, I think that Wayne is correct. Okay, so we have to go sideways, which we are on this.
But Frank, the only thing I got to add is, what if this belongs here? Because we have 127 feet this way. I'm not going to say the direction, or 127 feet this way.
I know that it doesn't because of how he drew this first before he cut it up, and you can see these corners match
Because you
perfectly.
know, if you do it like this, that's your direction. See that? See that letter N? Yes. That's significant. That's
But
significant.
this signifies N that the spring is north of the keyhole, which it is. This is north-south. So north is the spring up from the keyhole. This is going sideways here, but it goes sideways and it goes down a little bit. So here's the sideways part. Maybe we should look just a little bit down.
Which way is north, Frank? No, don't look at the compass.
I'm not looking at the compass. Which way's north?
North.
Okay, well,
I told you,
think
I'm right.
about this. When we go around the corner, the spring is north of the keyhole. Correct?
Dig a hole, Frank.
Fucking flies.
And wasps. The wasps and bees love Frank. It's the,
All right, let me get a reading on your hole.
let me go around and see if I can get a hold of it. No, it's split.
What's this? What is this? What's this?
Look at that. There's another piece right below you here.
That looks like an old whiskey jug.
Right here. See it here?
Yep.
See the piece there? I don't know what you found, but I don't know. Is there
Any more of it?
I don't
What
see
is
it.
this?
Hello? Hello?
What are you talking about?
Hear it down in there? You hear it?
No.
You don't hear it? Wait, Frank. Here's another piece right here.
Oh yeah, there's more pieces right here.
Where's another piece?
There's a couple right here. Oh, I see.
There he is. See him?
Yeah.
Get in and close on him.
I don't know if I
Here,
can.
too.
What do you think that is?
No clue.
It's a cylinder. Holy shit. Hey, Wayne,
What?
there's a painting inside here. No, there is.
It would actually be.
Hey, it's not fiberglass tube, it's little aluminum tubes. Huh? See? Somebody got here before us.
Well, and I wanted to explore the hole where we found the nickel. It looked like it had been previously dug. It was actually in line with the line of rocks and the knife Frank had found. So leading into that, it kind of fit. We knew we were in a general area where we felt the map fit for location. So we were kind of thinking this looks, but we didn't have anything specific. We weren't within X amount of feet, 10 feet, 50 feet. So we knew we were in a general area. Nothing had changed. Everything that was there, I was able to take satellite and aerial photos, I think going back into almost the early 70s, which would have preceded them being there. And everything looked pretty identical. The aerial photos I can't get really in tight, but I was able to look at everything and see how much it hadn't changed. I couldn't see that dig spot necessarily because I did go back and look at it, but it intrigued us because it was something that was there. Obviously, from the aerial photos, it looks like very easily you can drive up in there and drive up the hill, and you never could do that. It's very deceiving sometimes looking at the satellite and aerial photos and then getting there on the ground and realizing you're not looking at the elevation changes, or that this road you're looking at is just actually boulders lined up. But yeah, it was a good spot. It was a good second choice, and I wanted to bring them over, metal detect, and look over that specific area before we moved on.
Give me my finger first. You think those two drunk guys moved that big ass rock?
You never know.
Watch your feet. What was that blue thing?
The
Watch your
bug?
feet. Well, now you need to move the rock. You put the rock back over the other rock that you set on the blue thing. Watch your leg. Oh, well, there went the rock. What's that blue thing?
It's a bug.
Oh, it is. Let's check that out. Blue bug.
Blue spider.
A blue spider? This is all extremely loose.
Well, dig it. We're fucking here.
Yeesh. That up there is hard as a rock.
No, they didn't go any deeper.
Yeah, they wouldn't have.
Deeper than this.
Yeah, that's why I stopped right in here. See, this is still a little loose.
Yeah, but that.
What about where your foot's at?
But you pushed all that dirt down here.
Okay, but no, what about where your left foot is? No, that's still hard.
Yeah,
Okay.
this loose
No,
stuff.
this stuff here was all infill. Yes, and they had rock in it, which was all just loose infill of that and rock. Now there has to be.
Well, while we're in this spot, let's.
Yeah, there has to be
Cover
another
the
spot
hill.
like it. If this was one, you can film now.
Huh?
You can film now.
I've been.
Okay. If this is one of the spots, there has to be at least two more similar. Now, someone else could be wrong and kind of just dug a hole, but it has to be two more at least within a certain distance.
Let me get over here.
Now, this is just setting on here. It's not going to come from somewhere, and it's got like an arrow pointing down here. And what do we know about Bob? How many times did we went into an area where he had, it's like that heart that time. It was pointing down across that wash down Fish Creek. Remember that?
Arrows and hearts are really good as far as treasure symbols and signs. I understand that people will look into those. Bob Schuss always mentions that, you know, gold warms the heart, I think, was a Spanish saying he quotes a lot. And so I understand people get kind of wrapped up into everything looks like a heart or everything involved in a heart, and then the arrows as pointers and so forth, or, you know, they can be directional or reversing direction and mean so many different things depending how they're set up. One of my worries about certain symbolism that you find physically out in the terrain is you've had 100 and some odd years of people adding things, and I know people who have actually added things, and that's the hard part. I don't know if there really is that accurate of a science that you can tell if something's been done in the last 40, 50 years, or we can tell something was done 30, 40 years ago compared to 10 years ago. So you're kind of guesstimating at that. You need a lot more conclusive to draw it in. Frank loves the symbology stuff. He likes to talk about it. I don't know if he really follows it as much either. When we see something and it's definitely obvious and we're in agreement, it's one thing, because it's literally, okay, I know what they were looking at and why they did this and what they specifically meant by this. Sometimes I think we're talking in very general terms of possibilities, and I'm not a person that always wants to go out. I'll spend time looking at possibilities, but I'm not someone that wants to go out and put all my money in that cart on just possibilities. I want to find some specifics that kind of narrow things in. So we differ a little like that, but at the same time, I do always understand you take chances, because sometimes chances, Frank turns around, decides to flip a rock. We find a heartstone. Go figure that one, huh? And that one kind of bit me after that, and I had to shut my mouth about hearts for a bit. And it was put there for a specific reason. So, and I will give him that. The meaning of it behind everything, I don't know. You know, was Bob Ward that enthralled? Did he design and we could tell it was worked a little? Was it there, set there specifically to do that? Or was it put there specifically just to throw people off? Or to let people know, you're in the general area, you haven't found anything, but I'm just letting you know. Okay, you're here now, so now start looking. So, I don't know. Again, I'll always listen, always keep an open mind. I'll always keep my ears open, but at the same time, I'm also going to wait until we see something definitive that makes me feel like I see something more.
Trevor. Oh, the shovel's behind Frank. Never mind. I was going to tell you, look at the shovel. So this stick ain't that strong, but I figure any plate. Look at that. Stuff is fucking loose. Look at that. You see that, Trevor?
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole embankment, Frank.
Yeah, I'm like falling in over here.
Yeah, this is
Like
all.
right here. Take your
Not
stick.
as bad, but yeah, there's
Take your
spots
stick
here.
right here.
Yeah, but it's sinking in 6-7 inches.
Like right here. Look right here.
Why do I smell
Well, you
poop?
got these little fucking lizard and snake holes.
Yeah, but we're not uncovering a hole. It's just loose fill dirt.
This is the area that that arrow was pointing to.
Okay, you and your fucking arrows of heart. It is weird though, Trevor, isn't it? Just that one spot is real loose everywhere. Let's see that here. Bob, we're gonna be here all day if you don't get that shit dug out. How deep whether they went? God, if a plastic tube came up suddenly, I know it's not, it's a rock, but if a plastic tube came up, I think we would all just shit ourselves.
Hey, Ted, give me another drink.
As soon as you hit hard stuff, you know you're kind of outside the area.
Yeah, it's starting to get hard.
Okay, we'll work back that way, because this down here is not the same. See? It's not the same. It's that hole to this hole, that area is real soft. See, like where your boots are? It goes in, it goes in okay. But that's different than this, see? A complete difference. That's been dug out, Frank. There's no way that's natural. Because that went in to there.
To there?
Yeah, so that was almost a foot. See what I'm saying? You take here, nothing. See? A little bit, 2-3 inches. Then you go over here and you find these spots. See? Look at that stuff. It's just going down. And the stick should break if I'm putting that weight on it.
What's wrong with this pitcher?
Pitcher? I was a pitcher in baseball. I was a pitcher. Do you mean picture?
You know, wait a
Picture
minute.
with a C in there?
I had my DNA tested.
How much monkey was it?
0.02% black. I'm not going to say the N word, but
Okay, we can't
just
use it.
because I have that 0.02% doesn't mean I'm digging all the holes.
Well, we can't use me to dig the holes because I can drink and I'm Irish, so it wouldn't work. This stuff just is loose. It's just loose.
Dang,
Yeah,
it's coming apart.
but how much do you have to do? That's the problem. We don't, you know, these bushes might not have been here.
Yeah.
But as we're working in that way, it's getting looser and looser. Do you notice that?
Dang.
I don't know. I'm just trying to find that. Yeah, but they wouldn't have dug this big of an area.
No.
I'm wondering. Where'd Skinny go?
It's going up.
Digging this out.
Oh, what is this?
It's a Zippo lighter.
The Zippo lighter. How old?
I don't know. Pennsylvania.
Oh my god.
It's old, old, old. Frank! Come here. No, come here. What is it?
The neck of a whiskey bottle.
Come here. I found a Zippo lighter.
Dang.
He'll probably know how old this is.
What's the brand or whatever on it?
Well, Zippo's the
Oh,
brand.
yeah. Oh, obviously.
And this says this. Frank will probably know what the numbers mean about what year.
Oh, sorry.
People held on to these though.
Yeah.
Frank,
What?
come here. I'll trade you temporarily. You probably know more about this shit than I do.
Where'd you find that?
Trevor saw me dig it out of the hole. I was digging.
Get the fuck out of here.
I was digging.
Camera.
It's dry. It's been in there. Knocked the shit off of it, but it was in that loose fucking fill dirt. How old is it?
This
70s? 80s? How old is it? I figure you know that stuff. Here, Trevor, I'm putting this whiskey bottle neck because that's a piece we can date. Yeah, it was right here in this real loose shit. And I actually think, what was it, my second or third shovelful?
I think it was the second.
Yeah. It wasn't the first shovelful.
and who smoked a lot?
Ward, man. I don't know if DeGrazia did. I know Bob Ward did.
They made these up in Bradford, PA, and there are some markings on it, so we could probably date this.
Take a picture of it so you can try to date it.
But it's, you clean it out.
I mean, it doesn't mean it's his. It just means that was fucking
I mean, it's an antique.
I know people didn't get rid of those. They lasted, they kept them for years, so I don't know how old they are.
And you can actually send this back to Zippo and they will restore it for you.
Yeah.
See how the lid's a little bit loose?
It's just cool.
But by the markings on the bottom.
Well, and the stuff it's in is where it would be in the best shape possible. Because if it was in harder stuff, you know, it's just weird.
It looks from that time period.
It's got scuffs like it was in somebody's pants all the time. It's just weird.
And there may be a picture of Ward lighting a cigarette with it.
Yeah, but this is pretty nondescript. I mean, just a Zippo like this.
He had that type of lighter.
Not for the last time today, but we have someone else. We can talk to Rick, but someone who would have been able to say, yeah, he had one like that. It's...
Well, keep fucking digging. You find a lighter.
I was digging. It's hitting hard shit again.
The Zippo lighter, Frank was able to recognize it from the late 60s, I believe. He might have said it was in the late 50s. And I'm sure someone can see it and confirm what model year it was. It was either the mid 60s or late 50s, he said. Kind of neat. That was another one of those, you know, you hit a spot and it's just the dirt is so soft, and you can tell that just because of the area and where the vegetation is and how it is. I don't know when it was dug up, but it literally, until I got to a certain point, I was just digging out a hole that had been previously dug, and it was kind of towards the back and at the end of that hole, and I could see it very well as you were digging in that area. It could have been someone's upper pocket that fell out while they were digging, and it kind of just dumped down into there, and they didn't notice if they were backfilling it in. And that was just very cool, because it was that moment, you know, where you're just looking down and say, what's this? And then you bring your hand up and you just realize what you have. You're expecting to see some piece of junk or bracket or something, you know, and then you realize, wow, this thing is really cool. The unique thing about it was no rust. It didn't show the wear, didn't show this. I don't think it was just dropped the day before or yesterday. But the hole itself was very, very clean, fine dirt. It was very odd that it had rained. It had been there for a while. The dirt had been settling there, but it was like this fine stuff that you could, again, scoop your hands in and dig out. You go a foot either way, and then the ground was hard again. So someone dug specifically in that area for a specific reason. And like I said, I don't know who it was, but someone may watch this video. I know some of those guys do that have been out there searching and whatnot, and one of them may recognize their lighter, which would actually be kind of funny.
Yeah, I don't want to dig under the bush too much. It's weird. Put this stuff back in the hole. It's all loose now. Rain. The nice thing about this is it'll stay loose, but the hurricane's coming in a couple days. This is all going to look natural in a day or two. You realize that?
I think we started this trip and he was like, yeah, it's only going to be like sprinkles.
Oh, it'll rain back in here.
Nick, this rock was setting up here and it was pointing over here. That pointer. You dug here, you found a lighter.
So I would go by thinking about the other map. If these were the two areas, the other one should be right over there.
And this was dug here.
So then we got to wonder if whoever was right here necessarily wasn't looking for DeGrazia's painting, so it was messing with this stuff here.
Somebody destroyed that keyhole.